230. The what the hell? God damn it, Kraken, not again. What up, you guys, and welcome back. WOLVSAid the engineer is here, and this is SSTO Season 3. Okay, so today's goal is to build an SSTO that's gonna be refueling a station or whatever you have in space. So for that purpose, I'm gonna be building an SSTO. Now I got the birdie bird here. I call it Skylon, although it's not even remotely a Skylon. And the reason for that is, well, I wanted it to be sort of iconic. As usual, I'm gonna post this on Kerbal X. Link will be in the description below. And if you think this does not look like a Skylon, that's because this is a Skylon new. Alright, there it is. The glorious, not so Skylon after all. Now, I know I call it Skylon, but remember, this is the new Skylon. Now, we all know that Skylon has a lot of problem as an actual thing. Importantly, the engine is not enough, therefore I have added an extra 4 Sabre M engine, or Sabre S for this one. This is heavily modded, by the way. I tried to build it as a Skylon as possible, so if we're gonna observe the look of it, the body, the wing shape, and the type of engine, it's actually a Skylon. This is built by B9 mostly. The engine is B9. These wings are procedural wings made also by B9. I've made them a little bit bigger, as again this is a very heavy airplane and it needs a bigger wing, and I've added extra controlling surfaces like this one to control the roll, and some extra stabilizer fin to keep the airplane steady, especially in the back. I have changed the tail fin because the tail fin of the Skylon make the airplane go left and right, to be honest. I added a little bit here also wing sticks to give us your roll, pitch, whatever. And of course, the iconic landing gear in the back. Just, you know, it tells strike normally. It does. So, air braking method. With all honesty, this airplane flies very well, especially when it's like on empty tank or halfway empty tank. I got a lot of air brake, as you can see here, stock and modded. And in the back here, hidden is 2 parachute for the landing. I'm gonna talk about landing once we reach the level of landing. For takeoff, we have, I didn't count them, but these are solid state rocket booster. They are the flea. I put a couple of them to give us an acceleration upon takeoff, because takeoff speed is literally 200 meters per second when the airplane is full. To test this airplane for fueling capability, I have added in the cargo bay. This is an 8-meter cargo bay, by the way. I've added these. They are the Rockomax tank X200, 32, 16, and 8. There's a solar panel and battery here. And after all, this is a probe, so we have the probe core. Okay, so time now to test this airplane. Would we actually make it? Our target today is a 100-kilometer orbit, releasing the cargo. And I've just remembered that this cargo might be problematic because they don't have any probe core, or we don't have a docking port. I did not add it for the sake of the test. I just wanted to test the load capability. Is it capable of lifting this? Let's see. And there it is. The airplane is doing some rather nice dancing, so I hope this time will be a good time to take off. The sun is shining and Captain Jobadiah is giggling in the watchtower, as he knows he's not gonna die today. So, the plane seems to be okay, as apparently the problem was these wheels. These wheels are touching the ground, and therefore the airfield is exploding because these are broken wheels. So we reached 50 meters per second. We are accelerating now with the solid rocket booster. 2 Gs. Okay, we are reaching the speed of 200. This is the takeoff speed, but the solid rocket booster is not done. Now it's done, and there we go. Wow, that was a hard takeoff. Alright, so while we're at it, it's important to notice that, yeah, this one is not capable of lifting a lot of fuel. And the reason for that is the MK3, or even in this case the B9 HL cargo, HL body, is overrated. The cargo is heavier than the normal one. In other words, you can literally build your airplane out of a fuel tank and it will fly better and lighter than using these And the reason for that again is, well, the HL part, or specifically the MK3 part, is heavier than the normal part, even when it's empty. So I wanted to make this as real as possible. I created, or I'm working on creating, a realism overhaul for Skylon. This specific design of Skylon, which is going to be over-engineered. And the reason for that is I want to deliver a bigger cargo space. This is an 8-meter cargo. I want at least 16-meter cargo, and you know, with a lot of things inside, because I don't have a docking port capability. I don't have a lot of things which I would love to add to an actual Skylon to see what is the Skylon capable of if ever it become a reality. Now let me know in the comments below, what do you think of that? As much as I'd love to add this to my hangar in Kerbal X, this is heavily modded. So for now I'm just gonna keep it in my computer. If you want this craft, just let me know in the comments below, and I'll give it to you through Dropbox or something. And now, while we're cruising, again, our goal is 1,200 meters per second. If we was able to achieve that by any mean, gonna reduce the pitching angle to 10 degrees, start our acceleration. I'm gonna give control to MakeJib. As you probably know, I'm really lazy to fly an airplane. The flight path is really stable. As I'm looking here, the aerodynamic is okay-ish. Right now it has a lot of drag because it's not flying fast enough for the wing to generate enough lift, and therefore every part is giving us drag. And by drag I mean a lot of drag. But I'm happy. It's actually very stable. I don't have control over the rolling capability, but again, it's actually stable. We are not gaining so much speed, not gaining so much altitude, so we are burning a lot of fuel. But again, as an idea, this should work. I have an extra fuel, to be honest. I even added some extra fuel tank. We even have 2,600 delta V, sorry, meter per second delta V with the wet mode. So we're gonna start our acceleration, and I'll see you upstairs. Okay, so a small update. This was like 10 seconds ago, and as it seems, the engine start kicking in. We are pushing 1,500 kiloton of thrust, and we are actually accelerating more than what we should. We reached 1,000. This is Mach 3.5, and at this altitude, this is dangerous. So we are gonna pitch up a little bit. I'm gonna go by 20 degrees. Otherwise, this aircraft would burn. So these engines started reducing thrust. We are still gaining speed. We are climbing up at around 300 meters per second. And we are almost achieving our goal. As you can see, these particle effect, the beautiful mods. I love the modding community in Kerbal Space Program. Look at this glorious stuff. Thinny. I hope I'm not gonna melt my GPU today. Okay, so we are achieving our goal by 1,200 meters. And honestly, we are still having some thrust, so I'm kind of hesitating to switch to the rocket mode. But nevertheless, we kind of run out. We are putting up 400 kiloton thrust, kilonewton. Okay, so wet mode in 3, 2, 1. And the rocket engine has been activated. Now we are gonna do our gravity turn, or more likely coast to the atmosphere, or coast through the atmosphere at 10 degrees. Our goal is 100 kilometer orbit, stable orbit as much as I can, and the delta V status is, well, 2,500 in vacuum, approximately the same in atmosphere, since we are actually very high in the atmosphere and the air pressure is very low. As you can see, we are actually having a very stable flight path. Matter of fact, we started getting some altitude. We are reaching almost our orbital speed. This is probably the best flight I ever had. I mean, literally speaking, we are coasting through the atmosphere. At this stage, we don't have a lot of air pressure. Whoa. Okay, I did not see that. We should probably lift the nose up. I almost destroyed the airplane. You know, the usual stuff. So we're gonna pitch forward, pitch up a little bit. We almost burned the nose, which was definitely a bad idea. We are almost at the end of air pressure. We are at 39, 40 kilometer up. Our apoapse is 70, 60 and climbing. Of course, it's climbing because we are bleeding speed. We are using the atmosphere to generate lift and drag to push ourselves upward rather than just giving us lift. Now, that's good in this case, although it's not advisable as you will literally bleed your speed off. Now, we are reaching 58, so I'm gonna turn on the engine a little bit. And 104. Okay, so that's our orbit. Now let's try to circleize. I'm gonna use MechJib as usual, you know, punish the lazy for it. We need 64 delta V to have a circularized orbit. And how much lift we got? Oh my god, 1400. I'm telling you, lads, this is an overkill. But since you know me already, I'm the engineer. I do over-engineer shit for a living, so we got an extra fuel. I'm guessing with 1600, I can take it to Duna. Well, unfortunately, there is no transfer window coming anytime soon, so we're just gonna stick with an orbit and then landing. We are reaching the circularization point at our apoapse, and this fuel tank is of course still full. We literally did not use it. I forgot which button. I guess this one? No, wrong button. Okay, number 4 to deploy the solar panel. Although we don't need them, we do have a lot of electric charge. And well, now we do need to do something finicky to actually get rid of the cargo. And I have no idea how to do it. So I'm gonna decouple the nodes. Now this cargo is literally floating. So what I'm gonna do is pitch downward. And stop. Now we're gonna accelerate a little bit forward, and the cargo is exiting the bay. Now that's what I call engineering. Okay, so next up we need to go to our retrograde and the cargo float. Look at this beauty. Let's pollute the space, because why not? We nuked it already. So I'm gonna remove the solar panel back into the cargo, close the cargo bay, and I'm gonna try to at least land in the Kerbal Space Center. So we are exactly at the opposite of Kerbal Space Center, and therefore this is a perfect opportunity to, well, let's say it, slow down. So we are retrograding. I want to have at least 20 kilometers, maybe. So our apoapse is dropping. I'm aiming for 20 kilometers. That's it. Now we're gonna put the surface to 90-degree heading. Pitch would be 0. Now let's have a quick save just in case, because I really hate to restart all this over again. All right, there we go. We entered the atmosphere, of course, at a very high angle. I'm gonna put the airplane in a rather zero angle. Therefore, we are gonna cause ourselves a lot of drag. Once the airplane starts overheating, we are gonna pitch up a little bit, or at least when we reach the 40-kilometer mark. Well, the airplane is already overheating. Oh my god, this shit is about to get real. And it started cooling off again. So we are going by 2,340 meters per second. The atmospheric effect started kicking in. And I guess it's about this time to nose up. Normally I would say 25 degrees for this airplane is very good, although we can do more than this. Let's actually do more than this. I'm gonna go by 40 degree. I hope it would not flat spin, otherwise we're screwed, because this one is actually heavy. We still have fuel in it. So we bleed off the speed. We are bleeding a lot of speed. I would say this is almost a perfect re-entry. Normally, of course, it goes by 45 degrees, but you get the point. This one does not have any heat shield on it, and therefore to survive such thing is magic. Okay, so since we actually slowed down rather well, I'm gonna go down to pitch to 10 degrees and try to glide through the atmosphere until we at least get close to the space center. Now we do have a lot of fuel left, including oxidizers, so we can actually use the rocket mode to go back to the Kerbal Space Center, which is not needed, but you know, because we can. For the landing, I'm not sure if I actually talked about before. In the landing, we do have air brake, a lot of them. And most importantly, I do have 2 drag parachute here, which is awesome for landing. The airplane landing speed at this size and this weight, and we actually have an extra fuel. Well, normally it's 125, 150 meter per second, but since we do have an extra cargo, I would say it's a little bit more. Now the nose started, let's say, heating up, so we pitch up a little bit. And I hope it will not explode. Actually, it would not. We bleed up a lot of speed, and we did not even reach the desert. Oh, we actually passed the desert, so we reached the other part of the desert, and I'm guessing once we reach 1,500 meters per second, we are going to need to turn on our engine just to get 100 meters per second delta V, maybe 200, to climb back to the Kerbal Space Center. I would say this would be a very good landing, as once again, this airplane fly very steady. These fins in the back keep it stable. As you've seen, it's actually very good, and we did not even use the air brake yet. All these extra things are like, you know, it's like the things you find in your PlayStation when it was Japanese at the beginning. They are all extra shit that you never need. Okay, so we are still gliding, and with all honesty, this airplane is fucking amazing. Up to now, I did not turn on the engine. If you will look at these wings, which are, well, huge a little bit, they are still generating lift, which is more than enough. Now we are reaching 1,400 meters per second, and we are actually close to our destination. So I'm gonna pitch down to 0 degree, try to glide back, and I need an indication in where we are or where we're gonna land. So we're gonna put the spaceplane guidance. Show me where's the runway. Well, it's a little bit to our left, but I'm guessing not very far. I can handle it with manual control. So 1,000 meters per second, we are at 15 kilometers. Oh, look at that. We actually have an indicator there. I believe that's the solid state rocket booster, which we did not explode. Gonna pitch down a little bit. Okay, well, makeship started going crazy. We are about to flat spin. So, whoo, okay. Well, that did help, in fact, because it actually reduced our speed. So we are on approach for the landing. I'm pitching down to 15 degree. We're gonna aim for the runway. I'm gonna use this as an indicator to our target, and well, we're actually reaching it. So, final approach. Okay, we are at the final approach. I forgot if I do have a landing light indicator, but let's see. Gears down, air brakes on, thrust to 1/3. Now this airplane should be flying very, very steady. By the way, since it's very light, it's actually very maneuverable at this point. Our airspeed is 175 and it's not dropping. I'm gonna arm the parachute. All right, they are armed. Now they will only open up once we reach the altitude of 50, and they will be fully deployed once we reach the altitude of 5, meaning at touchdown. Final run, line up. Do not let me down. Skylon, I believe in you. Okay, so the parachute open up and cut off the engine. Glide through. We are bleeding speed, but I can tell you this is not enough. And touchdown. We lost the air brake. They are very close to the ground. And we have landed. Look at that. Wonderful. Skylon, good job. This was fantastic. We landed at 150 meters per second, which was great. we do have all part of the airplane. Nothing broke up on their entry. And it did it with an extra freaking 4,000 fuel. And we actually dropped the fuel. What's going on? What the hell? God damn it, Kraken. Not again. The airplane is... It's moving by its own. There's nothing turned on in it. Bloody hell. Well, I guess that's a good time to end this video. I hope you did, guys, enjoy today's video. And let me know in the comment below, would you like to see the actual Skylon and realism overhaul? And, well, I can give you a spoiler ahead. It's not going to work, but at least I'm going to try. And until next time, I hope you did enjoy today's episode. And if you did, don't forget to slap that like button. Until next time, stay tuned.